All right, welcome to week 10 of BUAD 200 Digital Marketing, guys. This week we are looking at chapter 9 and 10 from the book, which is all about social media and its usages. So let's jump into it. We can see here week 10 here, social media marketing. This PowerPoint actually takes into account chapter 9 and chapter 10. And then next week, we're going to be looking at sentiment analysis, which is a small part of chapter 9 and 10, but we want to focus on it a little bit more closely. So, guys, just make sure that you're getting quiz number 9 and quiz number 10 done in the next couple of weeks. We're also going to complete simulation round 3 and round 4 in the next couple of weeks as well. So just make sure you're following this schedule. So we're looking at a few different things for social media. We want to understand how people use it, including the 4S usage. We'll get to that in a bit. We'll want to look at explore and understand advertising and the business options on social media. In terms of creating content, we want to know what does the best on social media. We want to look at optimizing our posts with things like hashtags and tagging and those types of things. We obviously want to track and monitor, as we do with all of our digital marketing. And then we want to think about the best ways to engage with audiences. So just a couple of questions to jump into it. Firstly, how much time do you spend per day on social media? You can actually go into your phone and have a look at what you spend on the different apps. In my experience with students, it ranges from 2 hours up to 12 hours a day. That is a lot of time on a screen, so I would recommend that you maybe get off your phone a little bit more if you're up at that high. Second question, your favorite social media platform and why? So this really speaks to who's using different platforms. When we're thinking about platforms that are in an older demographic, more professional demographics, we're looking at platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn, for example, where if we're looking at modern or a younger demographic for more visual posts, we might be looking at Instagram or TikTok. Short form video, obviously TikTok very popular. YouTube still very one of the biggest platforms in the world still, especially with video, of course. And of course, what reasons do you go to your different social media platforms? It's going to be different depending on what you want. If you're looking for brainless entertainment in short form, you're probably going to be on TikTok. If you were looking for a review or some kind of information, you might be on a platform like Reddit, for example. So a lot of them have different focuses that we need to think about when we're actually doing our marketing. Number 4, what types of content do you mostly look at? Again, this kind of speaks to intent. So what are you actually going to your platforms to do? Is it to be entertained? Is it to be inspired? Is it to be persuaded? Those different tag words that each of the sites work on. And then the 5th one here is, do you look up brands or purchase products on social media? I think it's fairly divided at the moment. There is obviously a growing trend for social commerce or S-commerce, people buying things through social media. Most of the platforms have their own built-in business suites, so they've got different functions and features for people trying to sell tools. You see platforms like TikTok growing very quickly in terms of a shopping platform. But then you see, Instagram, Meta, Instagram, Facebook, a lot of those platforms that already have established marketing channels. So, when you think about what you've purchased on there, I've purchased a lot of clothing on there, which I've figured out probably hasn't been the best idea to do. So just try and think of what you spent, what you purchased on social media recently. Okay, let's have a look at a few stats here just to back up the importance of social media. So, this is from 2025, but we currently have 5.24 billion, that's billion with a B, social media users worldwide. The average time spent on social media, 2 hours and 21 minutes, which is actually quite a lot of your day. Probably broken up into lots of little portions, but 2 hours and 21 minutes has really taken the place of doing something like watching TV that, where people used to spend money on commercials. That's now a lot of it going to social media. The average number of platforms used per day, 6.8, and there are a lot of platforms. You may only use a handful of them, but there are a number of them out there. Of course, in different countries, we see platforms like WeChat, for example, in China. Lots of different platforms used in different areas. 45% female social media and 55% male users there. Just looking at the active user index, so this is from February 2025, so it's a year old. But in terms of active users, and this comes from data.ai, so in terms of active users, so people who are actually using the platform, remember we have to get rid of bot accounts, spam accounts, anybody who's not actively using. But we can see YouTube here at 100 billion people using YouTube on a daily basis. So that's a big number. YouTube firmly at the top there. WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Messenger, Telegram, obviously, Snapchat. So as we go down, guys, we can see where different platforms sit there. TikTok, one of our fastest rises there as well. So let's have a look at what reasons people actually go. This was one of our questions. What reasons people actually go on to social media platforms. So we've got the main different platforms here. We've got these different areas: looking for funny or entertaining content, follow or research brands and products, keep up to date with news and current events, message family and friends, or post or share videos or photos. Now I think everybody's going to kind of connect which ones go to which. But if we just bring these up here, we can see funny or entertaining, TikTok at the top there, Instagram second there. When we're thinking about following or researching brands, Pinterest and Reddit have pretty good numbers there, but we also have Instagram and Facebook. If we come up to keeping up to date with news and trends, X is a big one for news there, Facebook a big one as well. Messaging family and friends, Facebook, obviously they use the Messenger app there, but Instagram's a big one as well. Snapchat in there at 40% as well. And then posting or sharing videos or photos. We've got Instagram, one of the big ones there. Facebook, obviously, for an older demographic. And Snapchat, one of the messaging platforms there, important one as well. So, guys, we can see people go to different platforms for different things. You can have a closer look at this yourself. But because people do go to different places for different reasons, we need to think about what the commercial implications of that are. So when we think about social commerce, that's any type of commercial activities or shopping that's happening on social media platforms. So here's a couple of stats, guys. Firstly, 60% of people find their products on social media. So, when you're thinking about looking up a product, often people will go directly to brands' social media pages. You can actually get a faster customer service return on a social media. Often companies will monitor their social media more closely than they'll monitor some of the communication channels that they have. So, when people are getting information, social media often has lots of imagery, lots of product information, and that communication channel that you can get. A big one here, 45% of people will buy products endorsed by influencers. Now, guys, when we think about social proof, people are far more likely to take a recommendation from someone that they trust, someone that they know, than just hearing straight up stats on it. So influencers is pretty big business. And yeah, people are likely to take the recommendations of influencers. 25% of all shopping in 2024 was done on social media sites. That'd be 25% of online shopping rather than all shopping. So yep, social media pretty big there. 75% of consumers aged 18 to 34 made a purchase on social media in 2024. So, yeah, there's 3/4 of the population are actually purchasing at least one thing on social media. 30% of consumers plan to buy clothes through social media. As I mentioned, that visual platform that you would see on Instagram or TikTok is going to give you match that with an influencer, for example. You've got those trust signals. You also have lots of visuals that allow you to see what you're purchasing. So, pretty good platform for clothes. 14% is the expected yearly growth of social commerce. So we're at 571 billion in 2023. So add 14% onto that year over year up to where we are now. And that's from Statista 2025. So, guys, we can see just based on these stats, social media commerce is quite a big business. You could almost, a lot of companies do have all of their marketing activities running through social media, and they actually do a lot of their e-commerce through social media as well. So it's not always necessary to have the website, but that is, one of those other channels that give you that omni-channel approach. But certainly social media is one of them. Okay, so what are the main reasons for using social media platforms as a business? Advertising and awareness, of course. When we are looking at giving people information, promotions, product updates, reviews, contests, all of the different things that make people aware of your brand, education and training, entertainment, etc., etc. People are using social media for sales and lead generation. So when people sign up to accounts or follow, or you're showing them boosted ads, there's sale tools on there as well. So you can actually connect with people and turn them into leads from social media. Obviously, communication and outreach is a big one. We've got that two-way communication system that you do not have when you're sending out a blast email, for example. It keeps people informed in real time. So a lot of people are actually going to social media sites, as I mentioned, to communicate with brands. And then obviously for other informational things like news and events. We've got social media used for community management, so growing actual groups within different social media platforms. You can actually use those to figure out which, the psychographics and the preferences, lifestyle, those types of things that people are into, and then you can use that for targeting. And it actually does mention here, good for social listening. So if people are not aware of what social listening is basically exactly what it sounds like. When you are monitoring your social media channels and other people's social media channels, just to kind of get a vibe check, see what's going on, see what people are saying, see what's trending, and figure out if there's anything you need to address before it becomes either a bigger problem or a bigger opportunity. As we mentioned, customer service, it's fast, it's direct, you can get comments, you can get FAQs. There's lots of bots on there now as well that can actually queue up all of the FAQs and different support channels for people. Reputation management is a big one. We're going to talk about ORM or ORM or online reputation management in the next class. But we want to make sure that we are countering any negative publicity that we're getting on social media. So looking at complaints, looking at what people's sentiment is. So sentiment analysis that we've talked about in the assignment, and narrative shaping as well. So actually putting out a message to your people and doing some PR through social media. Of course, it is important for SEO because social media results do appear in platforms like Google. So if we have good optimization on our social media pages, that's going to show up when people are searching for things in Google as well. So important to have both of those channels set up properly. And last one here is for insights. So and research, so different data points, different information that you can pull from social media. We talked about, preferences, likes, follows. So what are people doing? How is our content performing? How do people engage with that content? We mentioned trend identification with social listening, and then also looking at benchmarking. So, what are other companies doing that they're doing well, and what should our goals be? What are the benchmarks we need to achieve? Okay, so let's have a look at a couple of posts and we'll see what's the actual purpose of it. These are the areas that we just looked at. We've got a Walmart post here on, this looks like Facebook. It's talking about foundation. So I think, guys, we can see there that this one's probably in the sales or advertising area here. We've got an Instagram one here for the Wanda Lover, travel blog or travel influencer. And they've obviously got a podcast here and a brand. So what do we think this one is doing? This Instagram page. They've got a community here as well because all of these followers would be getting all this information, but maybe outreach, communication, awareness. Here we are on X. This is discussing film. So this is going out. This is a review of the Snow White movie. So this could be under a couple of things here: communication and outreach, community management as well for people who like films. Then we've got a Taft one. I think this is on Facebook. Again, advertising. Now, again, guys, here we have Facebook again, but we've got these groups here. So if we search accountants on Facebook, we are going to get all of these different groups here. Obviously, that's going to be in the community management realm. And here from EMSC, which is basically a news outlet in Japan. So this one's just giving information about a disaster that's happening. So news update here, or outreach. Got the Kelowna Bear Fest, which is coming up pretty soon, the 2026 version. As we get into summer, this is on Instagram, advertising. TikTok, we've got Lululemon here. So we've got different influencers or different people who are trying on different Lululemon attire. So this is community management. It is awareness. It is outreach. Yeah. Okay, so let's think about what the steps are involved in creating a social media campaign. So what do we think? If we're just counting them off one by one, what might the steps be? Just think about that for a second. And then you could pause it and think some more, or we can get straight into it. First thing, guys, set objectives. So what's actually our goals going to be here? In terms of, are we going for trying to get follows? Are we trying to get sales? Are we trying to get leads? What are we actually trying to do with our campaign? Then we're actually going to plan the campaign, and we'll flesh this out a little bit in a second, guys. Then we would create our content, so actually come up with our posts. Then we want to post and promote. Then we want to measure and analyze. So what are our SMART objectives? What are we actually trying to get to? Remember, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Are we looking for follows? Are we looking for engagement? Remember, guys, our metrics that we've talked about: CPE, cost per engagement; CPL, cost per lead; CPA, cost per action or cost per acquisition. So what are we actually looking to achieve? When we're planning our campaign, guys, we'll want to target our audience. So who are we actually going after? Who's our user persona? What platforms are they mostly on? So what are we going to choose for our platforms there? We need to come up with a content plan, so something that's going to show a schedule of when we're posting posts, where we're posting them, who we're posting them, how they're being posted, etc., etc., etc. That could also include a style guide, so making sure that people know exactly what they should be posting and how they should be posting it. And then that might have a task allocation to it as well. So if you've got a social media manager in your company, they might be allocated to do all of those tasks. But you need a content plan to show you when and how things should be happening. Once you've done that, guys, you can create your content, which is going to be put into this content plan. So what is the text you're going to use, your copy? What type of visuals are you going to use? Are you using hashtags? What type of hashtags? Are you tagging people or companies or products? And then how are you formatting it? Different platforms will have different ways to format their posts. So you have to be careful with that as well. And then you're going to implement your plan. So when are you going to send things out? How are you going to send it out? Are you going to do it in bulk? Are you going to cross post over multiple platforms? Who are you sending it to? So are you targeting anybody with your posts? Are you paying? How often are you doing it? So think about frequency as well. And then last thing here, guys, always measure and analyze. This is digital marketing, so we've got all the data, so we need to measure it. Did we achieve these KPIs over here, our objectives that we were looking for, the key performance indicators? And did we do A/B testing? So did we put out multiple social media posts that we can check to see which one did better than the other, and then take the successful elements out of the one that did best? Okay, and then once we've done all that, guys, we optimize. So how can we improve the KPIs? How can we get better? We take things, the successful things from each of these different tests and put them together and see if we can optimize that way. One thing just to think about with data and the metrics that we get back from social media, which ones are vanity metrics? So which ones are the ones that are nice to have, but they don't really give us any actionable insights? So what we mean by that is can we take that data and turn it into a strategy? So some of these would be vanity metrics and some of them would be actionable metrics. So just have a look at these first, guys. I'll give you a second here. You can pause it if you don't want to get the spoilers. Because we will jump right into it, and I'll have a look to see that our vanity metrics are things like followers, likes, comments, and page views. Now, things like page views, when you think about that, like, is a page view actually helping you do anything? Like, what type of strategy or what type of action can you take from a page view? Same as a comment. Like, you could go through comments and you could do a sentiment analysis where you're looking at what people are saying, what the complaints are. That can be actionable, but generally comments don't give you a ton of information, so it may not be actionable information, right? Likes and followers, pretty much the same. Like, it's nice to have, but it doesn't give you a lot of information that you can actually take action from. So when we think about shares, we know what this is giving us an insight into people's preference and what they actually like, so we can start promoting that more, right? So that gives us something that we can actually take action on. Engagement, again, guys, if people are actually engaging on our posts, that might be a cost per engagement, so it could be a CPE. But if we are getting them to take action, we know that we can get them to take action in the future. Conversion, of course, is an actionable metric because it shows us what sells or what we're achieving what we actually want to do. Again, CPA, cost per action, because we're actually getting people to take an action. Right? That is actionable because we know that if we do something like that in the future, we can get people to do what we want them to do. Leads, of course, turn into sales. So we can do all sorts of things with leads that helps us with targeting. Okay, let's think about platforms. So we've got fashion-conscious millennials, wealthy sports enthusiasts, business-oriented professionals, women aged 20 to 30, and hungry teens. What platforms do we think we're going for? Fashion conscious millennials are probably going to be on a visual platform like Instagram or TikTok. Sports enthusiasts are likely to be on X. X has a lot of news, remember, guys. Business oriented, probably going to be LinkedIn. Women aged 20 to 30 are most likely on Instagram. Hungry teens might be on any of those. TikTok, Instagram. Could be, if we're thinking about in the food space, yeah, we might be looking at Instagram, for example. Okay, so I want to talk about the 4S behaviors. So these are the main behaviors that people are taking on social media. So we've got streaming, scrolling, searching, and shopping. We already talked about shopping, guys, but the big difference with social media shopping is that it's non-linear. It's not like going to a store where you would, research your product and then go to the store, find what you're looking for, take it to the counter, purchase step by step by step by step. Social media shopping is all over the place. You might see an ad, then you might do some research, then you might go to a brand. You might then go back and do some more searching. It is non-linear. It's all over the place, right? So we can see here, guys, the traditional purchase journey has blurred. Impulse buys and multiple touch point decision making has become the norm. So it's, people will see an ad on Instagram, for example, and purchase right away. I've done that myself in the past. It's not like you look around a lot. There's a lot of impulse buying there. So that's a little bit different to how people used to shop. Let's have a look at streaming up here at the top, guys. So, guys, because we've got constant internet coming to us through our phones, through our computers, through our TVs, through all of the different IoTs that we have, we've got this always on media consumption. Even if you've put your phone down, you've still got your watch on, you might get a notification for something. So we call this always on media, guys. This continuous personalized content that's coming to us across all of these different platforms. So that's affecting the brain in different ways. It means that we get fatigued from ads as well. I mean, there's a lot of different effects from how we experience content these days. It's obviously in the last 10 years has changed dramatically. So we still don't know exactly how it's going to affect people long term. Hopefully not too badly, but it's definitely moved to this always on system or environment of media. But it does mean that because we're constantly exposed to different content and different media, we have to stand out. So what they're talking about here is content sequencing. We've talked about this before, where we're not just showing the same ad over and over and over. We're sending a series of ads that are sequenced so that they actually tell a story over time. That's going to be more effective than just doing the same ad that people will just tune out. Scrolling is obviously the second one here. It's the modern day equivalent of window shopping. So as you're going through, you're looking at different things. People are consuming this content without an intent to buy. They're just essentially looking. But guys, if we have the right product placement or influencer recognition, influencer recommendation, we can get that spark to get that conversion, right? So making sure we are standing out amongst the scrolling. We can see there optimized, creative, engaging visuals with a strong story arc and personalization, which can be done with AI. We've mentioned searching, not so much on social media, but of course through Google and different search engines. But, obviously now we've got more platforms to search. Social media is obviously has huge amounts of data in it, so we can find information through there. We're obviously using ChatGPT or AI platforms to find information. So there's lots of different platforms that we're actually going to find information about our shopping. We've got these watch reviews and products and real life scenarios when we talk about YouTube, unboxing videos, trying on different clothes, all of these things where it's an experience based influencer. Those can help people find information rather than actually searching themselves. We've got to make sure that we're optimized in multiple search ecosystems, like our AIs, like from our website, and like on our social media as well. Make sure that we are optimized in all of those different areas to get the best one. And then we talked about shopping as well. So, guys, the way that people behave is changing a lot with social media. So we've got to be wary of that. Okay. Again, guys, we've brought this up a number of times, but the social media advertising model is quite similar to what you would see on a search engine for our SEM. Remember, search engine marketing. So we've got the same types of models here. We've got a cost per click, cost per action, per engagement. We could do it per mille, so 1,000 impressions. Cost per leads. So similar type of thing. We're going to be bidding on these types of things. We can set up boosted ads where we're paying for, whatever type of action we're getting people to take or whatever type of metric we want to get back. So when we're looking at all of these, again, these are good for different things. It's going to depend on what our actual objectives are. Okay. Just looking at influencers, guys, this model is obviously hasn't slowed down. It has maybe become a bit more refined because we've gone through a period where a lot of companies were just sending products to influencers. But that model on a small scale is possibly not as profitable anymore. So that might be just being pulled back a little bit. But there's still huge influences that are actually selling a lot of products through social media these days. These are the biggest ones, but I'm sure everybody follows someone that they may have seen recommend a product before. We're getting into like the Paul brothers, influences like that are actually coming up with their own brands now as well. So they're becoming full companies from their influencing activities. Just coming back to guys posting, we will want to make sure that we have a style guide set up when we're actually creating our content. So what type of tone are we taking in our content? Is it comical, informative, sincere? Is there any legal regulations that we need to think about? What is the protocol for responding to comments? What type of formatting are we using in terms of like how many hashtags, caption length, image sizes, things like that? What do we have in our terminology? So what's our lexicon? What type of words are we using? What are our most effective tags? So that's something we'll want to build up over time. And if we think about Wendy's, here's Wendy's. They've got a comical, this is from X or Twitter back in the day. So they've got a comical content or account. So whenever they post, it's something funny, which is, I guess they're not, their goal here, their objective is probably not to drive people to buy burgers through their social media, but they do get a huge following through this. And because they're getting that following, they're able to get their message out to more people. Okay, just quickly having a look at hashtags. This is for 2026 here, guys. New recommendations around hashtags. People used to put 30 or 40 hashtags in there, but new recommendations are 3 to 5 well-defined hashtags that are quite specific. You can often put a more generic, general word together with something specific. So, guys, when we think about Instagram, for example, we've got the of Instagram hashtag, cats of Instagram, bakers of Instagram, artists of Instagram, all of the ones that are of Instagram. That makes it a bit more specific. You could bring more of a long tail approach here. Support local business. Obviously, that's going to be important in smaller cities. How-to beauty. So it's not really grammatically correct, but it is going to be one of these new trending words that's going to go around. Good vibes only. Obviously, it's not specific to a product, but you are going to get a certain segment of the population looking at something like that. Photo of the day is obviously going to bring lots of high quality posts in. So if you've got something high quality, you can put in there. Vintage fashion. So making sort of, you can see up the top here, guys, a broad tag fashion with something that's more specific like vintage. For your page, obviously a bit more of a slang hashtag here. Teamwork makes the dream work. Again, guys, these are terms that have become popular in the last couple of years. Morning routine to show how people actually do certain things. Day in my life, DIML. So showing people how you would use your products throughout the day. Skincare reviews, go live, grow fast. So that's in reference to live video. New year, new me. Again, could be song of the day, could be slang of the day, could be anything of the day. Christmas haul, showing people what they got for Christmas. Unboxing, again, similar thing. Winter fashion, again, making a more specific fashion one there. Live story again. And then TikTok Shop Black Friday. This is actually, I think this had 400,000 odd views in a single month. So that's a big one when it comes to the end of the year. And shorts, guys, if you're on YouTube and you have a short video, you've got to make sure you tag with shorts as well. Okay, just getting into away from the actual creation of the content and into the content plan. Guys, this is really important. We want to put our metrics in here. So what are we actually trying to get? We can see on the right side here, we've got our KPIs, how many views we want, how many engagements, how many leads or impressions. We've got where we're going to post it, what channels. We've got the person who's going to do it, so it's been allocated to somebody. The format of it, so we've got ebook or article or video, for example. We've got our hashtags and keywords, which again should match up to our overall keywords. If we're going for that omni-channel approach, we want to make sure we're syncing up our keywords everywhere. We've got our title, we've got our funnel stage, so where people are at in the customer journey, and then the persona that it's targeted at. So these companies have multiple different personas that they're using, and all of these ads are going to be targeted towards them. So guys, this has got lots of good information in here. We would also want to think about we've got the day here, the time as well. We'd want to think about just to make sure that we're getting it out to the people at the right time. Again, guys, those times and days for emails stay true for social media as well. Okay, let's have a look at a Kraft mac and cheese case study. This is the last thing in here, guys.
As of 2015, we've been able to remove all the artificial dyes, artificial flavors, and preservatives from Kraft mac and cheese.
When we announced that we were going to make this big recipe change, people were really excited, but they were also a little concerned. They came to us on our Facebook page, they came to us online, they called our consumer center, and they all said the same thing. Don't mess with my mac and cheese.
We've been putting boxes out for months with the new ingredients, and we haven't told anyone. Unless people are looking at the ingredient label, they wouldn't know that we've changed the recipe. This is like the largest blind taste test ever done.
We didn't call out the change on our package when we started producing it because we knew people were going to be concerned about the taste. And the fact is, people just didn't notice.
We've been monitoring social media, and the response has been the same as it always has been.
Since we started selling the new recipe in December, we've sold over 50 million boxes of Kraft mac and cheese. Same as always.
This is the biggest thing we've ever done, and nothing would make me happier than having nobody notice.
What if we told you that we've actually been selling the new recipe since December and that that's what you ate tonight? Oh, that's awesome.
I did not know that, and it doesn't taste any different.
How about that? So we're eating, and it tastes just the same.
Looks the same, it tastes the same.
I didn't even notice that, and we've been, consistently eating it.
The experiment's over, the blind taste test is over. Now it's going to be right on the front of our package that it's got no artificial flavors, preservatives, or dyes. Craig Kilborn is our spokesperson. He's just speaking to the fact that we've changed this product, people just haven't noticed.
For the past 3 months, we've been quietly selling Kraft macaroni and cheese with no artificial flavors, preservatives, or dyes. And guess what? Moms didn't notice. Kids didn't notice. Dogs didn't notice. I think you're doing a smart thing by not telling everybody. Let them continue to enjoy it and then reveal it.
Knowing that people love it, and so far everything we've seen is that they're still continuing to love it, it's a really neat way to announce a recipe change.
I like to call it the world's largest blind taste test, but I'm very good with words.
We originally wanted to let everyone know right away, but now we have the proof. We made a better Kraft mac and cheese, and it still tastes like Kraft mac and cheese.
It's changed, but it hasn't.
Okay, so let's just quickly have a look at this, because this was a big campaign that Kraft did, and they integrated it into social media in a couple of interesting ways. And I think from watching that, you would have picked up that they were obviously monitoring social media, doing what we mentioned before, social listening and sentiment analysis, to figure out if there was any trends or any complaints or anything that they could pick up around what people were saying about Kraft mac and cheese as they were doing this. So that was one big way that they were using social media there as part of the campaign. Obviously, they've created all this content, so all of this content will be going out on posts on social media, the video content, all of these different print ads that they've got. So there's lots of information there, but if we go a bit further and have a look at what they've done with combining with social media platforms, they also did this with Snapchat. So obviously, guys, we know that Snapchat has the filters in their platform, so you can put on the different masks and different things like that with the filters. But what they wanted to do, their objective was to show off the new recipe. They wanted to share these news that they'd removed the artificial flavors. They wanted to get this slogan out. It's changed, but it hasn't. So then they wanted to partner with one of the social media platforms. So they chose Snapchat because of this filter game, and this reached 20 million viewers. So essentially, and just looking at the stats here, guys, 84% enjoyed the filter. They played it for 20 seconds, and they saw a 5-point increase in brand favorability. So what you actually had to do there was, when you put the filter on, the macaroni dropped down, and you had to try and catch it in your mouth. 13% lift in purchase intent. So from this marketing campaign that they set up with Snapchat, they were able to increase their purchase intent by 13%. So that's actually pretty impressive. Obviously, guys, smaller companies are not going to have the money to do big campaigns like this, but it is an interesting way to kind of bring social media into the marketing realm here. So we kind of talked about why Snapchat was the right campaign there. Let's think about what could other brands learn from this campaign about advertising on Snapchat. I think the main takeaway here, guys, is that anything that's engaging, anything that engages your customers in a fun, lighthearted, interesting way, using platforms where customers are, is going to be received well, and it's going to get lots of engagement with it. So, all right, we're not going to do that, guys. We are going to finish there. So, guys, don't forget, we have quiz number 9 and 10 for this week, and we also have round 3 of the of the simulation to do. Please let me know if you have any questions, epi@okanagan.bc.ca, and I'll see everybody next week.